Otach, Yitbarach Shimcha befi kol chai, Tamid le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Shakoach, Jared. Now is your time to share with us the teaching that you've put together based on your months of study and preparation for today.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Today's Torah portion is all about rules. Sometimes rules are laws for situations like blasphemy, robbery, injury, or murder. Every place has laws to keep people safe and to answer what should happen to criminals. However, why are there rules for holidays? Those rules don't keep people safe or deal with crime. One reason for rules about holidays is to remember. For example, on Passover, we remember what God did for us in leading us out of Egypt. Each food on the Seder plate relates to a bitter hardship or sweet freedom. After further thought, I realized that there is a deeper reason for rules during holidays. It's not only for us to remember, but for us as a people to feel closer together. When Jews all over the world sit down to Seder, they share the same experience in practicing these rules. It's what identifies us as Jews. Many other cultures know how powerful it is to have everyone following the same rules. The ancient Incas, for example, would force every nation they conquered to learn their language and practice their religion, or else. Perhaps this was cruel, but it brought the empire closer together as a people. This also relates to my own life. We've invented our own rules that bring us closer together. For instance, our family tradition on birthdays is to go out to the dinner at the restaurant of the birthday person's choosing. Every family member must attend. This tradition, or rule, not only reminds us of the birth of the birthday celebrator, it not only makes him or her happy, but the rule also causes us to come together as a family and celebrate on that day. If you look through this Torah portion, you will see a lot of rules that are still practiced today, and many that are not. They have been lost or stopped sometime in the thousands of years since they were written. Take the rule about blasphemers, for example. A blasphemer is someone who says a bad thing about God. My Parsha makes such a big deal about this that it adds along with the rule a small story of a man who pronounced the name of God in blasphemy. The final sentence was to take the man outside the town and have every man or woman who heard the blasphemer stone him to death. This is one of the most detailed and descriptive rules in the Torah portion, but it's no longer practiced. A lot of people today would agree that a stoning as a punishment for blasphemy would be overkill, literally. In fact, the U.S. Constitution guarantees Americans the right of free speech. So how did that rule change, and why? One possible reason is that as cultures blended, so did many of the laws. The most unfair of them were thrown away, and the best and most humane ways of handling situations stayed. There have been several instances of this in U.S. history. Blacks became free of slavery with the help of Lincoln and many others, and eventually achieved equal rights with the help of Martin Luther King Jr. Women achieved equal rights as well, and currently gays are finally getting the rights for marriage in some states. Unfortunately, the rules did not change everywhere. In some countries, people can still be killed, jailed, and yes, even stoned for their ideas or wrongdoings. For example, a 13-year-old in Somalia was stoned to death. She had been raped, and when she reported it to the Al-Shabaab militia, the controlling group of the region that follows every ancient law, they accused her of adultery. None of the rapists were arrested. If the ancient laws had been reconsidered or changed, this terrible event would not have occurred. A third reason for change is to accommodate needs. When Jews spread throughout the known world, it became more difficult to ensure that everyone was celebrating the holiday at the same time. By the time word spread that the holiday had started, it may have already passed. In order to ensure that everyone was celebrating the holiday at the same time for at least one day, most holidays were extended by a day. This has even happened in my own family. Although everyone tries to be there for our birthday dinners, business or school activities can get in the way. And on this rare occasion, the rule is changed and the celebration is put off until a later and better date. Through this process of becoming a bar mitzvah, I have realized how much has changed, but I've also come to appreciate how happy I am that we still have rules around holidays. Because if it wasn't for rules around becoming a bar mitzvah, I wouldn't have all my relatives and friends gathered here together today. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. You did a wonderful job, Jared. Yasher koach.